After watching Donald Trump's inauguration, a flight erupted in tension when a white man's cruel words toward a black waitress shattered the calm. As emotions ran high, Travis Kelce unexpectedly rose from his seat, taking a stand that no one could have predicted. What followed was a moment of courage and unity that left everyone on board forever changed. The week following Donald Trump's inauguration was filled with mixed emotions. For some, the event represented hope and a new chapter, while for others it underscored divisions. Conversations about unity, leadership, and responsibility dominated homes, workplaces, and public forums. In his Kansas City home, Travis Kelce watched the event unfold on his television, a cup of coffee in hand. The grandeur of the event and the weight of the moment struck him. Travis, who had always believed in the power of leadership, found himself reflecting on what it truly meant to bring people together. Words have power, he thought, but actions, that's where real change begins. A few days later, Travis boarded a flight to Chicago for a meeting with a nonprofit organization focused on youth mentorship programs. He believed deeply in using his platform to inspire and empower, and the meeting was a step toward expanding his efforts. As Travis settled into his first-class seat, the atmosphere on the plane felt normal at first. Business travelers typing on laptops, families chatting quietly. The air hostess, Maria, moved gracefully through the aisles, her warm smile lighting up the cabin. Dressed smartly in her uniform, she greeted each passenger with kindness. However, something felt slightly off. Travis noticed a slight tension in Maria's shoulders and the way she hesitated when she approached a particular row. There was a quiet intensity in the air, as if something unspoken lingered just below the surface. He didn't know it yet, but this flight was about to take a dramatic turn. Maria approached an older white man sitting a few rows ahead of Travis. Her voice was as steady as ever. "Good evening, sir. What can I get for you tonight?" The man lowered his reading glasses and looked at her with a scowl. "I'd prefer someone else," he said curtly. His tone was sharp, cutting through the hum of the cabin. Maria blinked, her professional demeanor barely faltering. "I'm happy to assist you, sir. Is there something specific I can get for you?" "I don't want you serving me," he snapped, his voice rising. "Get someone else." Nearby passengers exchanged uneasy glances. Maria remained calm, though her smile was strained. "I'm the only attendant assigned to this section, sir," she replied, her tone unwavering. The man muttered something under his breath, loud enough for Maria to hear, but unclear to those around him. She gave a polite nod and moved on to the next row, her composure intact, but her expression shadowed by hurt. A few minutes later, Maria arrived at Travis's row. "Good evening," she said, her smile a little dimmer but still warm. "Thank you," Travis said, as she handed him a drink. Then, lowering his voice, he added, "You handled that situation with incredible grace." "That's not easy." Maria blinked, surprised. For a moment, her professionalism cracked, and genuine gratitude shone in her eyes. "Thank you," she whispered. "It's part of the job, but some days are harder than others." Travis nodded, his respect for her deepening. As Maria walked back down the aisle, he couldn't shake the feeling that the encounter wasn't over. His intuition proved correct. When Maria returned to the older man's row to clear his tray, the man's behavior escalated. "Are you deaf?" he barked, slapping the tray from her hands. Glasses shattered on the floor, and Maria flinched but stood her ground. Gasps rippled through the cabin. The man stood abruptly, pointing a finger at Maria. "You people think you can do whatever you want," he shouted, his voice echoing in the now silent cabin. Before anyone could react, he raised his hand as if to strike her. Travis didn't hesitate. He stood quickly, his tall frame towering over the man. "That's enough," he said firmly, his voice steady but commanding. The entire cabin seemed to hold its breath. The man froze, his hand still mid-air. "Who do you think you are?" he spat, glaring at Travis. "I'm someone who won't stand by while you disrespect and intimidate someone just doing their job," Travis replied, his tone calm but unyielding. The man stammered, clearly taken aback by Travis's presence. A flight attendant approached and informed him that the captain had been notified and security would handle the matter upon landing. The man, though still visibly angry, sank back into his seat, muttering under his breath. Maria, shaken but composed, began picking up the shattered glasses. Travis crouched to help her. "You don't have to do this alone," he said softly. Back in the galley, Maria finally allowed herself a moment to breathe. Travis followed, his expression gentle. "Are you okay?" he asked. Maria nodded, but quickly shook her head as tears began to fall. "I try to stay strong," she admitted, her voice trembling. "But this happens so often. I feel like no matter what I do, it's never enough." "Maria," Travis said, his voice firm but kind, "you're stronger than you think. You stood tall in the face of ignorance, and that's not easy. What you're doing here, it matters." Maria hesitated, then opened up further. "My mom always told me to rise above, but it's exhausting. I wanted to make her proud by taking this job, but moments like this make me question if it's worth it." Travis placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "You're making her proud every day. Standing tall in moments like this shows the kind of strength most people can only dream of." Returning to the cabin, Travis could see the unease lingering in the air. Passengers whispered among themselves, the tension from the incident still palpable. Travis stood, his commanding presence drawing every eye. "I think we all need to talk about what just happened," he began, his voice calm but firm. The cabin fell silent. "What happened here isn't just about one person's behavior. It's about how we treat each other, every day, in every situation," Travis continued. "Maria didn't deserve what she faced today. She's here to do her job, treating everyone with respect. And she should receive the same in return." He paused, letting his words sink in. "It doesn't matter what you look like, where you're from, or what you believe. We're all human. And that means we all deserve kindness and respect." Travis shared a personal story about his childhood coach, a black man who had faced discrimination but chose to lead with dignity and compassion. "He taught me that unity starts with how we show up for each other," Travis said, "and it's up to all of us to create that unity, one act of kindness at a time." As he finished, the cabin erupted into applause. Passengers approached Maria, apologizing for not speaking up sooner. One handed her a handwritten note. "Your strength inspired me today." The video of Travis's speech, recorded by a passenger, quickly went viral. Hashtags like Kelce inspires and kindness wins trended worldwide, sparking conversations about respect. and standing up for others. After the flight landed, Maria approached Travis at the gate. Her eyes glistened with gratitude. "You didn't have to do that," she said, her voice trembling. Travis smiled. "We all have a responsibility to stand up when we see something wrong." "You're not alone, Maria." In the weeks that followed, the story continued to spread, inspiring schools, workplaces, and individuals to take a stand against discrimination. Maria, now more confident in her role, shared her story publicly, encouraging others to rise above hate and embrace kindness. The story concludes with a montage of people engaging in acts of kindness, inspired by Travis's words. A voiceover from Travis reflects, "Kindness isn't just a gesture. It's a choice we make every day. And that choice has the power to change the world."